Right, hi everyone, it's Nick Holland here. I'm with Nick Bailey of Strakka Racing. Hi Nick.
Hi Nick, hi everybody, hope you're all well and recovered from the mob.
Yeah, I think everybody's in recovery from quite a bewildering race. We didn't get a natural start and we didn't seemingly get a natural finish either.
It was a very strange race and one that will be remembered for lots of different reasons.
Yeah.
But I think it'll definitely go down in history as the one that got away for Toyota.
Yeah. From Strakka's perspective, 8th overall and 4th in class, 351 laps completed, just 6 laps off of the class lead. You must be over the moon, to use a footballing phrase.
Yeah, I think the whole team is delighted with the result. It was a very, very strong field, 23 cars this year. Very strong pace from the Oricas. We know that they are quick in a straight line. But the guys who prepare the car did a fantastic job. The car ran seamlessly, just changing the steering wheel because the dimmer switch had broken and the dash was a bit bright. And then some top-ups of oil and a slow puncher, but apart from that, the car was perfect. And the drivers did a fantastic job. As you saw, the pace from Johnny was incredible. Nick, superb, stepped up to do a triple in his first go in the car. And Danny, as consistent as ever, so very, very happy. And it just shows how you can put all of those things together and get a good result.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting, I heard of other cars, I think most notably last year's winner, the KCMG car, that had its electrics impacted by the wet start. You suffered nothing of that with a Gibson?
No, we didn't have any issues along those lines in the wet or the dry. The only problem I'd say was with the steering wheel, that the switch had come off, and it was a very easy thing to change. We have a spare steering wheel along with all of the other parts that are kept in the garage. So during one of the pit stops, it was just a quick switch over, and the car could continue with minimal disruption. I think, just looking at Strakka's stats, we had the shortest amount of time in the pits, showing how strong that team is. They practice a lot, driver changes, pit stop changes, getting the drivers to stop right on the marks, and that's where you can get the results, where you can claw back the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Johnny Kane started the race, and yeah, he had a fabulous sprint from 17th on the grid up to 10th place.
Yeah, he did, and he was in third, I think, at that point on the class. Phenomenal. The guy has got so much pace. I think it was one of the quickest cars in the class at that point too, and just a great driver to have on board. Very, very lucky to have him. Yeah,
no, we could see in the data analysis that pace coming out from Johnny Kane, and then Danny Watts seems to back that up very well with longer runs. We saw quite a few long runs from him.
Yeah, he did. He did a sterling job too. He finished the race. He was the last guy in the car and brought it home in one piece. Just ensured nothing happened coming right up to the flag. As you saw, anything can happen even in the final 4 minutes. So great to have him bring it over the line in one piece.
Yeah, and I mean Nick's contribution, given the regulation that he had to complete, I think, is it 6 hours is the regulation?
Yeah, 6 hours, yeah. So that was a longer period than he'd had to do. He'd done a lot of practice, done a lot of work in the sim, and delivered some great stints. That first triple stint was superb. Was scheduled to be a double, but he was fired up and wanted to stay in the car and did a brilliant job. And he really enjoyed his time at the weekend. Everybody had a good time, and that's also makes the result even more satisfying.
Yeah, and I mean the contribution from the pit crew is just stunning. I've looked at the actual stop time, and I think the 37 car ahead of you, the SMP car, only made 32 stops. But interestingly, all 3 of the cars ahead of you stopped for longer.
Yeah.
That SMP was 1 minute and 13 seconds that your pit crew gave to the drivers
Yeah.
on track time.
And this is why it's a team sport. Those guys practice, and it reaps rewards. And I know Dan Walmsley, team principal, is especially proud of that performance and that advantage that they gave the team. They do a lot of work both at the track and away from the track. They'll study video, they'll look at how other teams are working the pit stops. And in fact, if any of your listeners got Autocar, but Autocar last week looked at how Strakka approached his pit stops in a double page feature. So it was great that even those guys recognised how good Strakka is on and off the track.
Right, we'll take a look at that ourselves as well.
Go grab a copy quick.
Yeah. All right. I mean, it's testament to this series of calls that we've put together, of the preparation and effort that you've put in over the preceding 6 months. Wonderful what the team's done and what you've been able to achieve with that Gibson car. How are you going to retire her?
By carrying on in the WEC, that's the next plan. The car's back at the workshop already. I think we've got some filming planned for Monday before it gets a clean. So I'll just capture it as it is finished from the race. So look out for that film coming soon. And then it'll be off to Nürburgring for the next round before we get into the flyaways. And that's the plan for the rest of the year. It's a very solid car. It's a car that's easy to drive. And the guys have been learning more and more about it this season. I think it was a very turbulent year in 2015 with the S103, then switching tyres, then switching to the Gibson. This year we've got some consistency, and as you've seen with Le Mans, we can get a result with the car.
Yeah, excellent. Heard rumour that Simon Dolan is to retire Mighty 38 into his personal collection of cars.
Yeah.
I wonder if Nick has got any plans for Sexy 42.
He hasn't mentioned what he's going to do with that car. Strakka has got the S103 and it has got the 2013 P1 car. It doesn't have the 2010 car, which won P2 and came 5th overall at Le Mans. That car is out with Honda in the US, and I think Nick probably does regret letting go of that car. So we'll have to see if he can find the space to keep this one. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to get a couple more results with it, and then we'll have some real provenance for the team.
Yeah. And I assume, we've got to factor in what might happen for 2017 into that. Always a useful trade-in for a grandfathered car.
That's right. I think we saw the P1 regulations delivered at Le Mans, something that we've been waiting to review and assess to allow us to decide what will happen next year. The guys are back from Le Mans. They're going to digest the detail of those. Obviously, the headlines are given out, but there's more specific detail about chassis regulations that Dan and the rest of the guys want to look at. And once we've done that, then we'll be in a much stronger position to announce what 2017 holds. At the moment, I don't think we can say.
Sure. Okay. I think you should rest on your laurels while you've got them.
Never. Always keep going further.
As you say, Nürburgring will be round before we know it, and there is a WEC season to finish off before we get to next year. But from everyone at Sports Car Global, we really appreciate the time that you've given us to discuss matters with you. And to you and your partners, well done and good luck with the rest of the season.
Well, thank you, Nick, and thanks to all your listeners. It's great to have you guys on board, great to interact with you on social media and following us at the track. It was superb to have so many people come up during the pit lane walkabouts. Guys who were looking for their Twitter name or their friend's Twitter name, or just to come and say hi. I think we had 5 fan cars that guys had liveried up their cars, which is amazing. That Nick was so pleased that the guys were getting involved. Really amazed at the amount of support. So thank you to everybody for that. It's really cool.
Fabulous. All right. Thanks a lot, Nick. Take care.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye.